Hey, I'm Brandon, and today we are checking out the Rukka Imatra 3.0 Gore-Tex gloves coming in at 310 buckaroos. Now, these are going to be a touring style glove geared towards the winter riding application. And of course, you've got Gore-Tex in here. You've got about 200 grams of Thinsulate liner on the backhand. So there's a lot of versatility that these gloves are bringing to the table. If you know anything about Gore-Tex, they're known for the best waterproofing in the market, really, and the best overall breathability. And they've also got the Gore Grip in here included. So that makes it a little bit more comfortable when you're pulling your hand out of these gloves with that Thinsulate liner in there. And if they get soaking wet and things like that, it just makes slipping your hand in and out of these much, much easier. I've worn some gloves that do not have that Gore Grip in there, which bonds it to the fingers as well as the palm. And removing your hand from the glove when it's wet and then trying to put it back in is a bit of a nightmare. So it's those little things that you're going to see with these particular gloves and that you're actually going to get, and you may not actually notice them so much, but they are in there. There's a lot of attention to detail. So I really like what Rukka is doing with their gloves. I've really appreciated their gloves over time. And just to give you some frame of reference, these are the old pair. I'm glad that they got away from this kind of blocky overall styling here. You can see the improvements and some of the changes there, but you can see that they have similar DNA overall. But just wanted to show you the old pair. These came out back in the spring of 2020. So I think they did a nice tasteful update with these particular gloves on the Imatra 3s. Now, before we get going into all the details, let's talk about the overall fit, because that's a pretty important note for these particular gloves. I went down a full size, and just to give you some frame of reference, I measure just over 8.75 inches around the full circumference of my hand, which would actually put me in a size 10 when you look at their sizing chart. However, I'm wearing a size 9 now, and these certainly fit me best. The size 10 was just a bit too overly bulky for me. So I would highly recommend for those of you out there, get your measurements, make sure they're nice and concrete measurements there, reference the sizing chart, then go down a full size from what it's going to recommend for you. I feel very comfortable saying that because I've still got a little bit of comfort room in here in this size 9. So highly recommend going down one full size there. Now keep in mind, at 310 bucks, they will ship to you for free. And as always, we do have our price match policy in place that is there to ensure that you're getting the best deal around. So take advantage of that. 3-season cold weather Gore-Tex waterproof gloves here. You can see we've got simple Velcro strap there on the retention. And then we've got this Velcro strap here towards the bottom of that cuff there, and lots of room there to accommodate those larger sleeves there if you're tucking them underneath that. Now, as we work our way down the hand, little popper reflectivity, we've got some accordion there, and then we've got this TPR knuckle surrounded by some double stitching, and it's very low profile. And then you do, as I mentioned, right, you've got that Thinsulate 200-gram liner on the back of the hand, and that is just going to help with inclement weather, keeping you nice and warm. The reason you don't want that on the inside of the hand, on the palm side I should say, is that, you know, maybe you have heated controls. Well, that heat transfer from your heated controls to your hand is going to be a little bit tougher if you've got this thick material here. Also, it kind of takes away from the feel of your controls if you've got this thick liner on the palm side of your glove. So that's why we often see it just on the back side of the hand there, just to give you some additional warmth in that particular area. As we continue working our way down the fingers, you can see you do have a visor wipe on the index finger. This comes in handy. I kind of like the suede visor wipes a little bit better personally, but you do have that, so you can just clear your visor if you need to do so. Always nice to have one of those for the winter or cold season out there. A little bit of accordion on the pinky finger as well as the ring finger there, and then we can see here we've got that finger bridge there. Some people like that, some people not so much. Luckily, if you don't like it, take some scissors, give it a little snip, and you're good to go. Now, working our way to the palm side of the glove, goat leather made construction with that Gore-Tex membrane, of course, so you are getting waterproofing with a leather glove, which is a bit more on the rare side as well. Then you're going to see we've got some digital goat right here in the crook of the finger. That's just going to help with some overall grip in this area. Also helps prevent some premature wear. This is a high wear zone in that particular location. And then we do get touch tech capability on the index finger as well as the thumb. And you can see they've got the stitches rolled down, so it just makes it a little bit more comfortable than having them in between the fourchettes or anything like that. So as we swing over to the outer edge right here. We do have some coverage. It's not fully covering that outer seam. I typically like just like a nice panel of leather or additional reinforcement in this area, because if you have a low side, you're gonna put your hands out to brace for impact. It's just our natural instinct. So seeing a little bit of coverage in this area is always nice to have. Wish it was a little bit more robust at 310 bucks. But speaking of robust, we do have this nice palm protector right here. There's a little foam padding underneath that. This is gonna be TPR material, but it's just gonna give you some additional protection and additional comfort in this particular location if you are putting your hand down to brace for impact, of course. A little bit of accordion here on the thumb. Well, a lot of accordion, but it does help out with manipulating your controls. It certainly makes a difference in that particular location there. Overall, I really like what they're bringing to the table, and I like that I've got a Gore-Tex membrane with that Gore Grip that I mentioned before, because that's gonna allow you to push these gloves into all kinds of different riding conditions. Maybe you're up in the mountains, you're coming down into a lower elevation, so it's a little bit warmer outside. You've got that Gore-Tex membrane, and they're known for having the best breathability, but they also guarantee their waterproofing for the lifetime of their garment. This is a serious glove. For those of you out there putting down some serious miles, you're riding in inclement weather, this is going to be an excellent bomb-proof option for you to take a closer look at. But of course, if you're looking for more details, click that info button. That's going to take you over to the product page. And as always, if you have any additional questions for us, please do not hesitate to reach out to our customer service team. They're all riders, more than happy to get you pointed in the right direction. Thanks for hanging out with me for a bit and taking a closer look at the Rukka Imatra 3.0 Gore-Tex gloves. I'm Brandon. Keep it pinned.